Subscribe so you don't miss the next videos and activate the bell to be notified whenever something new comes out. And share it with anyone you think also needs to hear this message. Let's spread this network of support and inspiration. In the bustling heart of the city center, where glass skyscrapers cast long shadows over busy streets, stood the imposing headquarters of the Sterling Real Estate Group. This was a company that thrived on reputation and high stakes, a realm where each transaction could make or break fortunes. Within its polished corridors, a dedicated team of professionals worked, each playing their part in the intricate ballet of real estate business. Among them was Malcolm J., a highly respected junior analyst known for his diligence and sharp intellect. Malcolm had joined the Sterling Real Estate Group 3 years earlier, bringing with him a degree from a prestigious university and a quiet determination to succeed. His colleagues recognized his potential, and he had made a name for himself as someone who could be trusted to handle the most complex cases with skill and discretion. However, Malcolm's rise was not without challenges. One of these challenges came in the form of Richard Cole, a senior executive whose reputation for ruthlessness was well known within the company. Cole was a man who valued results above all else and had little patience for those he deemed beneath him. It was widely reported that he had a particular disdain for those who, in his eyes, were less competent or less deserving of their positions. The incident that would set the stage for Malcolm's trial by fire began on an ordinary Tuesday morning. The company was in the midst of a high-profile merger, and tensions were high. Richard Cole had been assigned to oversee the project, and he was particularly focused on ensuring everything went smoothly. Malcolm, who was working tirelessly on a crucial report for the merger, was confident that his analysis would provide the edge the company needed. During a critical meeting where key stakeholders and executives gathered to review progress, Malcolm's world began to crumble. As he presented his findings, detailing the potential impacts of the merger, Cole's eyes remained fixed on him with a cold, appraising look. The room, initially filled with murmurs of approval, fell silent when Cole abruptly interrupted Malcolm. "I'm not convinced by these calculations," Cole said disdainfully. "Are you sure this isn't just a rookie mistake?" Cole continued to question Malcolm's calculations and insinuated that his analysis was fundamentally flawed. "We cannot afford to trust someone who might compromise the success of this business," Cole declared, suggesting that Malcolm's inexperience was a serious liability. The words stung deeply, not only because they were unfair but also because they were said in front of the entire team, leaving Malcolm exposed to scrutiny and ridicule. The atmosphere in the room palpably shifted. Executives exchanged uneasy glances, and Malcolm felt a wave of humiliation wash over him. Despite his attempts to defend his work, the weight of Cole's authority and the critical gaze of his colleagues made it nearly impossible to salvage the situation. The meeting ended with Malcolm's report being discarded and Cole's decision to have the analysis redone by another team member. The days that followed were particularly harsh for Malcolm. He was subjected to whispered conversations behind closed doors and the condescending looks of colleagues who once respected him. The sense of injustice was palpable, and many in the office felt that Cole had acted out of personal vendetta rather than genuine concern for the merger. Unknown to Malcolm, the wheels of karma were already in motion. Richard Cole, who had made a career out of stepping on others to reach the top, was not as invulnerable as he seemed. Senior executives were whispering about Cole's management style and abrasive behavior. "I'm really starting to question his leadership," one executive was heard saying. "His approach may work for him, but it's causing a lot of friction here." Dissatisfaction had been brewing for months, and Malcolm's public humiliation was just the tipping point that triggered a series of events leading to Cole's downfall. Cole had been pushing for an ambitious expansion plan that he confidently assured the board would be a guaranteed success. "This is a game changer for us," Cole had proclaimed in a meeting. "Trust me, we're on the brink of a major breakthrough." However, the plan was fraught with risks that many executives were reluctant to acknowledge. Malcolm's forced removal from the merger project only highlighted concerns about Cole's judgment and his ability to steer the company's future. "He's too focused on his own vision," another executive commented. "He's not seeing the big picture, and it's affecting all of us." As time passed, it became evident that the expansion plan was failing. Market conditions were less favorable than Cole had anticipated, and his strategies began to unravel. "I'm not sure how much longer we can sustain this," a board member commented. "We're bleeding money, and Cole's promises aren't materializing." The losses mounted, and the board's patience wore thin. There were growing calls for accountability, and whispers turned into heated discussions about Cole's role in the company's declining fortunes. The culmination of these events came in the form of an emergency board meeting. The room was tense, filled with executives who had long harbored doubts about Cole's leadership. A board member broke the silence with a sigh. "It's time we address this issue head-on. We can't keep ignoring the problems Cole has been causing." Another added, "We need to act decisively. The company's future is at stake." During this meeting, the board decided to take decisive action. Reports indicated that Cole was informed of his dismissal in no uncertain terms. "Richard, we've decided to part ways," the board president said, barely concealing his frustration. Cole's reaction was a mix of disbelief and anger. "You can't do this to me," he protested as he was escorted out of the building by security, his protests echoing down the silent corridors. The news of Cole's departure spread quickly throughout the Sterling Real Estate Group, and reactions were mixed. In the break room, some employees felt a sense of relief. "Finally, something had to be done," a team member said with a smile. "Maybe now we can start rebuilding." However, others were cautious, knowing that a change at the top could bring more uncertainties. Malcolm, on the other hand, watched the events unfold with a mix of vindication and reflection. His own experience had taught him the harsh realities of office politics and the sometimes cruel nature of professional rivalries. He thought to himself, "It was a tough lesson, but a lesson nonetheless. Maybe now things will change for the better." After Cole's departure, the company began focusing on rebuilding its reputation and addressing the challenges left in the wake of his failed expansion plan. Malcolm, having weathered the storm, found himself in a position where his skills and resilience were once again valued. He was moved to work on more significant projects, and his contributions were recognized with renewed respect from his colleagues. Karma had indeed taken its toll on Richard Cole, but for Malcolm, the experience was a hard-earned lesson about the complexities of workplace dynamics. His journey was a testament to the idea that justice, though sometimes delayed and fraught with challenges, has a way of balancing the scales in the end. Malcolm's story became a silent reminder within the company that integrity and perseverance can withstand even the toughest trials. If you enjoyed the story, don't forget to click the like button and subscribe to the channel. This other story on your screen now will also entertain you, bringing more insights into the challenges and triumphs in the corporate world. Malcolm's journey is an inspiring example of how integrity and perseverance can prevail, even in the face of the most difficult adversities. We hope these narratives continue to inspire and motivate you in your own professional journey.